So today we're testing out the new TP Patina range. So this is the new putter range from TaylorMade. Previously they had the TP range, but they've updated it and now it's the TP Patina. So the Patina is this like finish you can see on the bottom. I actually really like the colouring of this, and TaylorMade are saying that this colour will actually start gradually changing over time, so you'll see a difference in colour as you use your putter. So there's actually 7 different styles in this range. We've got 3 of them today. So this is a Dupage, and this is part of the 4 mallets that are in this range. And then there's 3 more blade slides. So we've got the Del Monte and then the Certo here. So I'm going to start with a mallet, because I use a mallet currently, so I think this is the one that'll suit me the most. So we'll start with this and see what it's like. So I think visually over the ball this sits really nicely. I really like the fact that there's quite a clear alignment guide behind the back of the ball. One thing that's really important when selecting the right putter is making sure you have the right neck bend for you. So although this is a mallet, it's actually quite face balanced because of this single bend neck. So that's something I really like because I don't have a massive arc in my stroke. So it has quite a soft, nice feel off the face, which is something that I really like in a putter. But then it does feel like it does have some ball speed off the face. Sometimes I have a tendency to leave putts short, so that's kind of helping me work on that. So obviously the first one finished a bit short. That was my first putt of the day, so that's just down to me not knowing the pace of the greens. But the 2 after that were very consistent, and I did really like the way that it felt off the ball, off the face. TaylorMade have slightly changed how they construct the face construction in these putters, so they're now screwed into the back, so you can see that here in the construction. So that should change the feel slightly from how it was in the previous range. So another thing about these putters is the fact that with each length the weights are adjusted to compensate for the length of the putter. So a big thing is sometimes I get a longer putter and then cut it down because I like quite a short putter, and that affects the overall weighting in the club. So you can see in here there's different weights that you can either have adjusted, but they also change with the different lengths. So the slightly shorter putters have heavier weights in the bottom of them. So the new Patina collection features a new aluminium insert. So this is designed to increase your feel, but it also has a better sound off the club face. That's quite a big thing for a lot of golfers. They just like having a really consistent, nice sound when they're hitting a putt. Otherwise it can be quite off-putting. Also we've obviously got the new patina finish, so this will naturally tarnish over time. So you can kind of see that there's different areas that change in colour nicely, but I think overall this finish gives it a much more luxury look than the previous finishes. Then obviously we've got the 7 different options in this range, so there's a mixture of mallets on blades, so just on your preference you can decide which one suits your game the best. So we've got the Del Monte now. Now this has quite a typical blade style into it, but it's slightly wider. So this just gives you a bit more forgiveness but the looks of a blade, which is quite important. So if you're someone who really doesn't want a mallet style putter but wants a bit more forgiveness than the typical blade, this is definitely something to look at. It feels pretty easy to line up. That's something that for me is one of the most important things about putter. So this is a range of putt that's really important for me because I'm typically leaving myself a lot of these for par or for birdie, and looking at my handicap, it's something that you can't really be missing this length of putt. So the most important thing for me with this kind of putt is making sure that I have something that I feel I can line up really well, because as long as you're getting the ball starting on line, generally you're going to hole it. So this putt actually sits really nicely behind the ball. The line on it just makes me feel like it's really easy to line up, and it's not too complicated, it's quite simple, so it's not busy behind the ball and it's not distracting you. So the third putter now we've got is the Certo, and this has a slightly different neck bend, so you can see it's a bit shorter. So this just means that this putter has a bit more toe hang on it, so that means if you're someone who has a more arc in your stroke, it's going to suit you better. So that's something to really consider when you're looking at these. It's really important to match up your stroke with the type of putter you're using, and generally that's all to do with the neck bend and how much arc and toe hang you need. So we're just going to hit a couple of mid-range putts with this. Another thing to mention about these putters is the super stroke grip that it comes with. It actually feels really nice. As you can see, I use a claw grip, so sometimes a traditional grip isn't the right shape, but this feels really good. So I'm pretty happy with the pace on that, and it rolled really nicely. It's quite a big breaking putt, so not necessarily one you would be expecting to hole every time. It's more one that you wanted to roll up and get near the hole and just give yourself a tap in. Again, like the others, it felt really nice off the face. I would say visually for me it does feel quite narrow, so maybe on a missed strike it doesn't feel like it would have as much forgiveness as the other two, but obviously that is a personal preference. But yeah, off the face, all three of these has rolled really nicely and really consistently, which is something that I'd be really key looking for in a putter. Oh, just missed. So I've just missed them all, but it's just given me a really easy tap-in distance. The distance was really controlled on all of them, and I did give myself a look at holing them. So we've been out and tested all three of these now, and I think a big thing with putters that not necessarily the same as the rest of your bag of clubs is that it's all down to personal preference really. It's very important to have something that you like the look of and that gives you confidence over the ball, because generally if you don't feel confident when you're going to hit a putt, you're probably not going to hole it. Another secondary thing is like something that you can line up really well, because obviously if you can't line it up consistently, then you're never going to start the ball in line, so you're not going to hole many putts. And I think from that point of view, the one that I preferred was the Dupage. You can just see on the back it has a bit more detailing that gives you extra alignment cues. So personally for me, I felt like these lines here really helped me frame the ball, and then the line down the centre helped me line up really straight. I think another big thing about that is the neck bend, that it had like this single neck bend which really worked for me, and the fact that I don't have a big arc in my stroke. So all three of these performed really well, but I just think this one gave me a little bit of extra confidence. So out of these three, which do you think would suit you best? Or don't forget to go online and check out the other four in this range. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below, and we'll see you all again soon.